Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks and welcome to an Inkdependence.com brief video review and water drop test. Today we have another of the Diamine Shimmering Shimmertastic inks. This is Shimmering Seas. Shimmering Seas is a dark blue sort of, I don't know, sea-looking ink, I suppose, with a bunch of gold glitter. Maybe a bit too much gold glitter, as we'll see here in a little bit. I tried this, of course, on Rhodia. I've got it on Tomoe River, we'll see, and I've got it on some copy paper. So hold tight, that's what's coming. The other thing that's coming is a not particularly positive review. This is an ink that I'm not super fond of. In fact, of the Shimmertastics that I've used so far, this is my least favorite in fountain pens. It doesn't work particularly well, unfortunately. I've had a lot of problems with it being very dry, or at least stopping up, and that may be due to the amount of shimmer that's in there. Oh, I didn't write anything under performance. All right, let's see if it works. This is one of the pens I had it in. This is a Faber-Castell Basic. It's a medium. Actually, this is a pretty wet medium. So let's see how it works. I think a little bit of Shimmertastic there on the edge. Let's go ahead and wipe that off right quick. All right. So performance. Well, actually, the performance on coffee paper is what this usually connotates. And there it is just fine. No bleed. See, there's the problem right there. So when I say performance, the performance meaning does it bleed, feather, and spread? No, it doesn't bleed, feather, and spread. It does just fine. No bleed, feather, or spread. So it worked just fine out of this Delta Unica, which has a fine nib on it. It's a pretty small fine, but it's got a very large. It's got a lot of tipping on it, oddly enough. It's kind of strange. It's a very odd nib, I think. This one actually has only just started working. It started working real well down here, so we'll get to that in a minute. So when it comes to coffee paper, this works just fine. In fact, we'll show it on the copy paper right quick, since we're already talking about that. There it is, and you see you still get a lot of shimmer in some places, not so much in others. So like here, this line, for whatever reason, there's almost no shimmer. And that's from the Delta Unica that I said was not working all that well. But down here, it looks like it kind of broke free on this D. If you see, yeah, there's a ton of shimmer right on that D. Nothing really before it, and also it stopped working kind of right before that. And then, bam, as soon as that dam broke, now it flows perfectly fine. So I think there might have just been a bunch of glitter that got collected in the feed and wasn't letting any actual ink past. So there you go. And then here's that Faber-Castell Basic. The flow is not great. In fact, when I first started using it in this pen, it was working just fine. But it must have a glitter dam in it or something. I don't know, because when you press down a little bit, if I spread the tines, let's see if it'll start working. So there it is now. What if I press down a bit? Well, here we go. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, it's not great. So this is the problem with it. The flow is kind of crap, which is unfortunate. It works pretty well in this Plumix, but every once in a while I just kind of take it with my handy-dandy inkwell. This is what I use for the chromatography things, and when I'm not doing it for chromatography, I use it as sort of a bit of a dip, because I'll just dip the nib of the ink of the pen in there if it stopped working, and it'll loosen it up enough that it usually starts working. So that's a trick that'll work for you if you want to use this in fountain pens. But as I say in my review here at the end, maybe it's better just for dip pens. And I don't really use dip pens. I need to prepare some nibs or something. I have some cool dip nibs actually around here. Where is it? Maybe I put it in my box of things to clean, because I think I need to clean it off with some soap and water or some acetone or something. I don't know, get some oils off of it. But so I haven't really tried it in dip pens because I don't really use them. But my guess is that if you get this stuff going, it'll work well in a dip pen. And in fact, here's my sample. By the way, this sample was provided by Anderson Pens. Thanks very much, Brian, Lisa, Dave, and all the other folks that I don't know there. They've hired a couple of people, and it looks like they're looking for a full-time photographer. So if you're in the Appleton, Wisconsin area and you like taking pictures of stuff, give them a call. But I've used most of this sample, actually. It's just like a... Is there any left? I don't know, not really. Just enough to coat the bottom, I guess. It's pretty much done. So that's all in these three pens. And it's not working out for me. So there you go. The flow is kind of, I don't know, erratic, intermittent. It's annoying, that's for sure. I don't know what the deal is with it. I think it's just damming up because of all the glitter. Too much shimmer. The other inks, I haven't had that problem at all, so I don't think it's a problem endemic to Shimmertastic inks. I think it just happens to be this one. I've got a bunch of them in pens right now, and they all work just fine. Blue Lightning has worked in every pen I've used it in. I've got Magical Forest going right now. I've had Brandy Dazzle in a pen since May? May? Yeah, sometime in May, and it still works. I mean, no problems at all. So I think it's just this ink. So this one, yeah, I don't know. This is one that I would say either skip or only use in pens that have, I don't know, maybe out of control flow perhaps would help. Or if you just want to use it with dip pens, I think that's great. But and you'll have to shake it up a bit because they do settle. I mean, here's the bottom of Magical Forest. Oh, sorry, there you go. I was off camera. Still getting used to this camera setup. We'll see how it goes. But there's the bottom. You can see there's still a lot of glitter down there. So it does settle out. And here's Purple Pizzazz, which I haven't actually put in a pen yet. I got to try this one out. You can see probably a lot of glitter in that one as well. Because it does settle. So if you're going to use it for a dip pen, be prepared to shake up your well a little bit every time. Every once in a while, I'll get that glitter back in the suspension. But this one, I mean, it looks cool. It's an interesting looking ink. Tons of glitter. As you can see on this Shimmering Seas bit right here, it's just rife with glitter. And I think on that one, I must have used the Unica because that's been putting out a lot of glitter recently. So, and now the Unica's working just fine, as you just saw. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. All right. So it's enough talking about that particular weirdness. Here, let's do the water test right quick. And is there much glitter in this water test bit? Let's see. Yeah, good a bit of shimmer there. So you get some shimmer, some gratuitous shimmer for you. All right. So water test, blam. All right, lots of purple swirling away. If the past holds true, this is not going to have any particular water resistance. None of the rest of them have, so I'm not expecting much here. But that's okay. If you're using a shimmery ink, well, I don't know. I would kind of like a shimmery water-resistant ink. When you maybe get like Noodlers on that or something. Well, yeah, let's get Noodlers on it. Why the heck not? And have them do a glittery bulletproof, or get some Diamine. They make a registrar ink, right, which is supposed to be at least pretty water fast, or at least mostly. Put some glitter in that. Then you can address an envelope in a pretty glittery pen. That'll be fun. You see some glitter came off there. There you go. And yeah, there's still some left. Like you still see some of the lines. It's not as bad as some of the other ones have been, but as that dries, I think it's going to get more faint, and I think it's going to get worse. So what's underneath that? Oh yeah, Stormy Gray. Stormy Gray coming up soon. I actually never reviewed Herbon's Stormy Gray, so we'll have that soon. All right, so the water test. It's not as bad as it could have been. A lot of it came up, but pretty unremarkable in terms of water resistance. So here is the chromatography. There you go. And again, you can see that there is the line of glitter down at the bottom. Can you see the line of glitter? Yeah, you can. Look at all that glitter down there. This is Shimmering Seas. And there you go. All right, you can see there's not much in here except for blues. This is not a particularly complicated ink mix, it looks like. So you just get kind of a solid blue. It's interesting that a lot of the dark blue is kind of over here on the side and a little bit up here in the middle, but over here just like not a lot of dark blue. It's weird. Anyway, there you go. So that's the chromatography on this ink. Let's take a look at it on the Tomoe River paper here right quick, because people love Tomoe River. Oh yeah, Blue Pearl. I've got Blue Pearl in one too. And Blue Pearl I'm really liking. I don't have any problem with that. Oh, I've got it on this. So here's the thing about this ink journal that I didn't know. This is an ink journal, brand ink journal. The first page is not Tomoe River. It's just, I don't know, sort of a protector page for the rest of it to hold it all together. But I've got a couple of Shimmering Seas on here. So there we go. I don't know what this paper is. It's fairly stiff. It's not that much stiffer than... It's not as thick as the Anderson Pen's Proper Pads paper, but it's also not as thin as my 20 pounds. So I don't know what pound of paper that is or what kind it is, but there you go. Let's see. There's Magical Forest, which I've also liked quite a bit. Here we go. Diamine Shimmering Seas. I didn't get a whole lot of glitter coming out in this one for whatever reason. Just a smattering, which is actually very nice. I think these Shimmertastic inks are better when they don't have a ton of glitter in them. Just because you want to see the color. Sometimes inks have too much sheen or too much glitter, I think. And this came out really well. So, if you play around with it, perhaps you can get some really good performance out of Shimmering Seas, but it's not really working out for me, so it's not going to be one that makes the rotation. In fact, I'm going to clean these pens out pretty much immediately, and I'll be glad to use them for other things, because I really like these pens, just not so much with this ink. Check out the Delta Unica if you haven't before. They're great pens. I've got a couple of them. This was an Anderson Pens one. It's number 42, of course, the answer to the question. But anyway, and go for medium. I really like the medium nib. The fine one is a little bit weird. All right. So that's it. This has been Diamine Shimmering Seas. I'm Mike. You can find me online all kinds of places. I'm on Instagram at Inkdependence. I'm on YouTube at youtube.com/c/Michael Madison. And I am on the blog at inkdependence.com. Thanks very much to Brian and Lisa again for sending these out for review. I've got more of these Diamine Shimmertastic ones. It says Shimmering in there, and I see it every time, and I try to say Shimmery inks instead of Shimmertastic. So there you go, Shimmertastic. Also, check out my wife's blog. That's Audrey at Right on the Nail. She's going to be giving away some of these inks. So, inks, not inks. She's going to be giving away nail polishes that are based on these inks. So if you like nail polish stuff, go over there and check out rightonthenail.com if you're viewing this at the time when I've posted it. And you'll probably see a contest there. I'll put a link in the comments section when that gets posted. Until later on, guys, peace out.